Hello and welcome back to Rage Gaming and welcome to the Diablo 4 beta. While this is indeed a short period to play, just Friday, Saturday and Sunday, we will have another chance to play next weekend. But with that big picture, we need to experience and learn everything we can, which is a lot in a short period of time. So the question is, what should you make sure you do in this brief period? What should you try not to miss? Today, I'm going to try to answer exactly that, so let's just get straight into it. First up, the fact that our progress will not be saved from beta to launch, as you'd imagine. Like any normal beta, testing is going to be done on a build that is far from final, so you shouldn't really expect your characters to come with you to launch. Now, with that in mind, you should be pushing everything, using everything, and not holding back in any way. That's why I'm standing here in the hub, and I'm standing in front of the Occultist. Occultist can extract and imprint aspects, which is a really important aspect of the game. Basically, if I want to extract an aspect, I can take a look at what gear actually has aspects to be taken from, and these are going to be my legendary pieces. Now, what's really important about this is that they have really powerful skills that can be beneficial to certain builds. I'm currently doing like a melee build, so I'm not using caltrops right now, meaning this trickster's band that's got caltrops enhancing aspects to it isn't really that useful. I might hold on to this in the full release, for maybe when I swap. I want to take this skill off and put it on other armor. The point is, you shouldn't be afraid to destroy anything you have for any reason, just to try it, just to experience this system, just to see what actually happens when you do these things. Because nothing is going to stay anyway, you might as well experiment as much as you can. All that nice gear that you have, it doesn't matter, it's all getting deleted. So engage with the Occultist and other systems like this as soon as possible to learn so that you know what you're doing in the release. The other aspect of this is going to be the respecking that you can do. It tells you in the beta very early on that what you can do is refund your skills for free until level 15. Now that I'm above level 15, it's going to start costing me gold to actually do that. But it doesn't really cost that much. I'm sitting on 60,000, it's 500 to refund all of them, and it's a lot cheaper if I want to go back on like one individual node. It's not a big deal. At the very beginning of the game, you can have at least 4 or 5 different options for your basic attacks, so your constant left clicking or whatever it is on a controller. All of them do different things, have different benefits, and also of course you can enhance them with the further enhanced types. These change how they work, and what you should be doing is testing these, especially before level 15 when it costs you nothing. You should be trying every single basic and all the different types of enhancements, every actual ability, and just try everything. Try every combination of the class that you're interested in. Not only will this give you a nice wide variety of understanding of what's possible with this class and what might actually synergize with one another, but not only does it cost nothing before level 15, dirt cheap even after then that it doesn't really matter, but all of it's being deleted anyway, so why not try everything? Use all your resources, spend all your gold. There's essentially no downside to doing this except one, because progress in the early access beta that we're playing right now in this weekend will actually continue into the second free beta. So my rogue, if I get him to 25 and I have a good time with him, I try everything and have fun with him, I'm not going to lose him as we go into the second beta. He's actually still going to be there. Now, what you might not know, but should know hopefully, is that the Druid and the Necromancer are also not in the first weekend. They're coming in the second. So it's probably a great idea to get your class to level 20 and complete the story, or get it to 25 and, flesh out the class and try it in all of its different ways. And then in that second weekend, try the other classes and get a feel for them, define that certainty on what it is you're going to main before we go into release. There's actually ways that playing on a main and having a level 25 is going to be beneficial to your other characters, especially alts in the full release. What I refer to there are things like the Codex of Power, where you can find the aspects in the game. Aspects are quite interesting, and there's there's a lot of them. Now, there's individual ones for each class. For example, we have this one for Rogue. Flurry damages enemies in a circle around you, dealing 8% increased damage. Nice to have as a passive, just permanently, a thing that's happening for my class. And then there's universal ones that apply to everyone that are more defensive, like this barrier aspect one, on other classes like ones like Barbarian, that of course my rogue isn't going to benefit from this in any way. So if you're planning on, say, playing a Druid or Necromancer in the second weekend, maybe it's a good idea to go hunt the aspects for, say, the Necromancer, so you're all ready to go the moment you make your new Necromancer next weekend. The question is, how do you actually get these aspects? Well, there are lots of little dungeons in the world as shown by these kind of gates. When you hover over them, you actually see the reward for the first completion of that dungeon. This is only for Barbarian. Here's a more accurate example though. This is a Druid only aspect, so if I'm planning on playing lots of Druid in the second weekend, I should go hunt that down, complete this dungeon specifically, and get that reward. And it's better for me to be doing this on a main that's actually high level, one of the original 3 classes, because because I'm going to be higher level to do it rather than waiting until I'm on my Druid and aren't actually strong enough to go do it in an efficient way. However, what I would recommend is you test things and try systems, you know, before the release so you're able to be as efficient as possible. That is why I'm standing here again in the hub, and this time for the Alchemist. So by going and speaking to the Alchemist, what you can do is very simply upgrade your healing potions. To begin with, you start with the weak healing potion at level 1, but you can upgrade them using resources, using materials you find in the world. This is going to be important because as you level up, you get more health. Now, in this beta, we can only get to level 25, so the minor healing potion is going to be what we're able to reach. And as you can see, it requires 15 Gallovine and 5 Biteberry. All these are herbs in the world, little bushes that I've interacted with that seem to give pretty much all the resources we need. As we progress, though, there are more things needed, like the crushed beast bones here, or they're harder to get things like demon hearts. But what's interesting is most of these resources I've been able to find in the current beta, even the rest of like the angel breath. So making a little mental note, or maybe an actual note, of where you found certain herbs could make you really efficient at actually having the materials you need every time you hit one of these level caps and can improve your potions. They can also be used to craft these elixirs that will give you a buff for a period of time. The current options we have are generally specific element resistances by a certain percent, but also they increase the experience you gain for 5% for half an hour. So having one of these running, especially as early as you reach this hub, having picked up the materials, those herbs on the way intentionally, you could net yourself an extra 5% XP while you're leveling just permanently. That's a really good thing to know at full release. Another aspect of this is refining then. So if you have lots of one resource, for example, I've got lots of Biteberries and I want to make some Gallovine, well then I can spend some Biteberries to change it into the Gallovine. This is important for things like silver ore and superior leather, which are a bit harder to get and important for actual crafting, especially silver in this case. But in any town, you're going to find blacksmiths like this one here so that you're able to dismantle your gear and get resources for it. Now, some of these, like account bound that I'm looking at here, I can't actually dismantle, but say this one that I'm actually wearing right now, we can salvage this and get some materials from it. The materials that you get from that is generally used for upgrading. So let's take one of my weapons and put it in here. It's going to require some resources like gold, but then iron chunks. As I upgrade it, now it's going to require even more gold, but then new materials like what I just mentioned, lots of silver ore. So knowing that you can go to an alchemist and make yourself some silver ore out of the plentiful and easy to get iron chunks, that should be useful. Next, a quick word on the Renown system, which is giving us some very interesting rewards in the current beta. For example, at level 1, we get skill points, like an extra level without having to level, and this is really easy to get. Further, an extra potion charge, so you've got extra heals, that's amazing. More skill points, Obduls for the trade, and Paragon points from, much later game, as well as an absolute pile of gold as you do these. That can be wonderful. At very least, you should be focusing on getting these first 3 done at the launch and knowing how to do this as efficiently as you can. Renown comes from these different things, as explained, when you're unlocking the different waypoints around the region, defeating the strongholds, doing all the side quests, of which are 35 in the current version we have. In general, just searching the area out, completing the 23 side dungeons is going to give you some, and whenever you find any of the 28 altars of Lilith, not only are you going to get those permanent stat increases, but again, you're going to get a bit of renown. Of course, different things, depending on their difficulty, are going to give you most renown, but I would say the side dungeons, when you're doing side quests in there or around them at the same time, is going to be the most efficient way to get your renown. The fact that you can get 2 skill points and a potion charge in the current version of the game on just this system is huge. You can also track it on the map when you're just looking at the map at the top. Here are all the different things that are available, and what I'm missing in each individual area to look at. Anything that I have completed is grayed out, whereas anything that is ready to go, it should be lit up and won't say claimed, for example. Last but not least then, I want to mention the world boss, Ashava, which actually isn't in the game as I make this video and should be about an hour after this video goes out. We don't have a lot of information about it right now, but we know that it spawns on Saturday and Sunday of this first early access beta, although I'm sure it'll be back in the free one. It'll spawn today on Saturday at 10 AM PDT, then 2 hours later, and then 10 hours later. Then we only have the one spawn time at 12 AM PDT on Sunday, which is quite interesting. They may change this depending on how things go. Obviously, they're wanting to test the world boss and how it works and who's going to get involved in it, and I would strongly recommend you do, just to see it, just to experience it, just to know what you're getting into when it comes to these things in the full release. Knowing how strong you need to be before you can even face one of these should give you a good context when there's one available as you're leveling in the full release. We'll be looking into this as well, of course, as it spawns, as it releases, and we may have some more information for you on that soon. But for now, those are the things I think you need to know about and can be considering trying in this first early access version of the beta. Knowing what you do now will cross over into the second week, into the free weekend, should help you feel a bit less pressured, and that's probably what I would emphasize. Even though everything I've said today, I want you to test and experiment with and learn about, get the most benefit out of this beta, there isn't really a rush. We have like at least 5 or 6 days of playtime. That's more than enough time to complete the story and even reach 25 on one class, try out all of the different classes, and do what's pretty much available in this first region of play. So take the pressure off yourself, but also try to experiment, try to see what things are like, because nothing really matters when it's all getting deleted anyway. I hope this video's helped you though, but for now, I've been Hollow, you've been you, thanks for watching, we'll see you next time.
Josh, Cotton, and Hollow with the videos, dropping the humor like a hammer on your tippy toes, bringing entertainment on a daily arrangement to take our insanity and turn it into entertainment. Yes, I said entertainment twice, to reiterate that it is nice to look into your faces on a mostly daily basis when you let us in your homes to make the whole world a stage. Goodbye.